The NBA has an immense amount of talent in this league from top to bottom. When you look at all-time great players, guys who are veterans, and even young ascending talent with guys that I truly believe will be future faces of the NBA one day. And I wanted to compile a list of the 10 best players in the NBA under the age of 25 that I would build a franchise around today, and let's go ahead and dive right into that list. Now, my honorable mentions are going to be players like Alperen Sengun, Amen Thompson, Jalen Johnson, as well as Cooper Flagg, only because he has not logged a single NBA minute yet. Coming in at number 10, I've got LaMelo Ball of the Charlotte Hornets, and unfortunately for LaMelo Ball, he's only lower on this list due to the fact that injuries have continued to plague him, and I do believe that injuries are unfortunately going to continue to hamper him, even though I hope that's not the case. When you take a look at what LaMelo did last season, LaMelo averaged 25, 7, and 5 for the Charlotte Hornets in 47 games, but has only appeared in 105 games over the last 3 seasons, which means that he's only appeared in under 43% of qualified games for the Charlotte Hornets. But even though LaMelo has dealt with a litany of injuries, when he's on the court, he has been nothing short of sensational. He's obviously one of the most flashy and electrifying young players in the game of basketball. And although the Charlotte Hornets have been a very bad and dysfunctional organization the last handful of seasons, I actually really like Charles Lee a lot as a coach. Obviously, I love what they have with Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball when those guys are on the court. And even the addition of a guy like Colin Sexton this offseason, I think is going to do wonders for their backcourt. I really do believe in the direction that this Hornets team is going in. I really do believe in Charles Lee. And hopefully LaMelo Ball can have another step forward this upcoming season. Now, coming in at number 9, I've got Tyrese Maxey of the Philadelphia 76ers. Maxey last season took another step forward after injuries continue to plague this Philadelphia 76ers team. Guys like Jared McCain, Joel Embiid, and Paul George all missed significant amount of time, which helped elevate Tyrese Maxey and give him an even bigger scoring role and a bigger offensive opportunity last season, and he took full advantage of that, averaging 26, 3, and 6, while also chipping in nearly 2 steals a game. If you look back at the 2023-24 season, Tyrese Maxey was phenomenal, and that was really his coming out campaign. He won the Most Improved Player award, and he was phenomenal in that first round series against the New York Knicks, where he averaged nearly 30 points per game. Tyrese Maxey is obviously a microwave, one of the best pure bucket getters in the backcourt in the game today, and I absolutely love Tyrese Maxey's game. That's why I've got him at number 9. Coming in at number 8, I've got Franz Wagner of the Orlando Magic, and to me, this is a guy who has continued to overachieve and exceed all expectations since coming into the league. If somebody, and I genuinely mean this, can point to me the guy in the pre-draft process that saw that Franz Wagner was going to be a borderline all-star 3-4 seasons into the league and is only going to continue to get better, please show me that guy, because I don't think anybody could have seen this come from Franz Wagner, because this is a guy who is consistently manipulating the defense. He seems to never get rattled. He's obviously got an incredible feel around the rim, and his footwork is absolutely sensational. And what Franz Wagner showed me last year was that he was ready for the spotlight in the moment. If you look at what Franz did in 60 games last year, he averaged 24, 6, and 5, but in those 20 games before going down with his oblique tear that he commanded the Orlando Magic without Paolo Banchero, Franz took another step forward, averaging 26, 6, and 6 in those 20 games without Banchero. And of course, he was also very efficient in that first round series against the Boston Celtics, where they eventually lost, but Franz Wagner averaged 26, 5, and 5. I think he's a Swiss Army knife, a guy who has an incredible feel for the game, and that's why I've got Franz Wagner at number 8. Now, coming in at number 7, give me Scottie Barnes of the Toronto Raptors, and Scottie Barnes is another one of those guys that I think people in NBA circles acknowledges a very good guy. I think that there's a couple more levels that he could really reach with his full potential and his ceiling, but in 65 games last year, Scottie Barnes averaged 19, 8, and 6. This is a guy who made the All-Star team for the first time back in the 2024 season. He's the former Rookie of the Year back in 2022. And like Franz Wagner, I think that Scottie Barnes has an incredible feel for the game. I think that he makes everyone around him better. And I just love his tenacity and the way that he kind of goes out there and handles his business on a night in and night out basis. I like Scottie Barnes right here at number 7. Coming in at number 6, give me Evan Mobley of the Cleveland Cavaliers, who was absolutely sensational last year and was one of the best players in the NBA. I actually believe that he was top 10 in MVP voting, if memory serves me correctly. Evan Mobley averaged 18, 9, and 3 for the Cavs last year, helping lead this team to a number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. He was also rewarded by making the All-Star team. He made the All-NBA team as well as winning Defensive Player of the Year. But the biggest improvement for Evan Mobley last year was his shooting from the three-point line, which was absolutely sensational, knocking down 37% of his shots from behind the arc on a much higher volume of three-point attempts, where he shot over 3 three-pointers a game. Evan Mobley is one of the most versatile young forwards in the game of basketball. Another guy who can put the ball on the deck, score in the mid-range, really step out of the three-point line, and of course, he's probably one of the best defenders in the game of basketball 1 through 5 in terms of his switchability. Mobley was sensational last year, and I think that he can continue to cement himself each and every year as a top 15 player in the game of basketball. Just want to take a moment to say, if you are appreciating this type of work and coverage from me, the best and easiest way to support me is by liking, commenting, and subscribing down below. It's free and it helps me and the channel out tremendously. My goal is to get this channel up to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the calendar year, and if you guys want more exclusive content from me outside of just here on YouTube, you guys can go ahead and follow me on my socials. The links to all of them will be in the description down below. But thank you guys again, and let's go ahead and get back to today's video. Coming in at number 5, give me Jalen Williams, or J-Dub, of the Oklahoma City Thunder, who was an integral part to the success of this Oklahoma City team last year that won a franchise record 68 games. Jalen Williams was rewarded by making the All-Star team, making All-NBA, as well as the All-Defensive team. J-Dub averaged 21, 5, and 5 last year, as well as 1.6 steals per game. He obviously took another step into the postseason and was a catalyst for why this Oklahoma City team won the NBA Finals. Coming in at number 4, I think that this guy is going to be switchable with number 3. I think this is just a preference, but give me Cade Cunningham of the Detroit Pistons. Cade Cunningham, to me, took a huge step forward last year under first-year head coach for the Detroit Pistons, JB Bickerstaff, who had came over from the Cleveland Cavaliers. This Pistons team was sensational last year. I love how hard-nosed and tenacious that they were, the physicality that they played with, and Cade Cunningham was absolutely phenomenal last year for this Pistons squad. Cade averaged 26, 9, and 6. He was rewarded by making the All-NBA third team. He made the All-Star team for the first time in his career, and he helped lead this Detroit Pistons team to the postseason for the first time since 2019. Cade Cunningham is absolutely, undoubtedly one of the future faces of the league. He's an incredible guard who can score on all 3 levels, and I thought that there were glimpses and flashes in that first round series against the Knicks that rewarded him and showed us once again that he is going to be an elite point guard in this game for years to come. Coming in at number 3, give me Paolo Banchero of the Orlando Magic. Like I had mentioned, if you want to switch him and Cade Cunningham around, I am more than fine with that. This is just personal preference. With Paolo's stature at 6'10", with his ability to get downhill and play bully ball, he to me is one of the young, unguardable players in this game who is only going to continue to ascend and get better. If you look at what Banchero did last year, helping lead this Orlando Magic team, Banchero averaged 26, 7, and 5 in 46 total games in the regular season. But if you look at those 24 games after the All-Star break, Paolo Banchero was undoubtedly one of the best players in the NBA, where he averaged 29, 8, and 4 during that stretch, and this was after he had fully gotten healthy and recovered from his oblique tear, because if you remember correctly, within the first 5 games of the season, Paolo Banchero suffered an oblique tear. It caused him to miss the next 25 plus games, and he finally got himself reconditioned and finally back into shape after the All-Star break. And that's where you saw him take that leap. I think that Banchero is going to be an MVP finalist this upcoming season. The Orlando Magic are going to be one of the best teams in the NBA, and Paolo Banchero is the closest thing that we have to a LeBron James in the next era of basketball. Paolo is sensational. He's one of the more underrated and still overly criticized players in the game of basketball, and I expect Banchero and this Magic team to take yet another step forward. Coming in at number 2, give me Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ant-Man is absolutely one of my favorite players in the game of basketball, if not my favorite. I love his moxie, the way that this guy comes out, and he is just fearless when it comes to his opponents out there on the court. That has been demonstrated through multiple postseason runs, the way that he approaches the game, and just even in the Olympics last summer, the way that Anthony Edwards goes out there. I absolutely love his game, and he has been a catalyst for the Minnesota Timberwolves, helping lead this team to 4 consecutive postseason appearances, as well as back-to-back Western Conference Finals appearances. I do think that this Timberwolves team is knocking on the door of an NBA Finals appearance, and I already made an entire video talking about that. So if you guys want to see that, I will go ahead and I will link to it up above. But when you look at Anthony Edwards, this is a guy who has been a 3-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, and he averaged 27, 6, and 4 last year for this Timberwolves team. If they can take another step forward with their chemistry, with that continuity that they have with their core guys, I do think that this team is going to be ready to make an NBA Finals leap, and it's going to be because Anthony Edwards is a future face of this league, and he is a bona fide superstar. Now, coming in at number 1 is the most obvious choice in the world. Anybody telling you any differently does not know what they're talking about. Give me Victor Wembanyama of the San Antonio Spurs. And despite the fact that Wembanyama unfortunately was sidelined for the remainder of last season after appearing only in 46 games due to that blood clot injury, if Victor Wembanyama can stay healthy for 10 to 15 years with the trajectory that he is on, he is absolutely undoubtedly going to be one of the greatest players of all time, and he is going to set the record books in terms of blocks, steals, points, rebounds, you name it. He has been a historically great player through 1.5 seasons essentially of playing, and he has been nothing short of sensational. If you look at what Wembanyama did last season in those 46 games, he averaged 24, 11, and 4 while also leading the league with 3.8 blocks per game. This is a guy who is a 2-time block champion, 1-time All-Star, and of course made the All-Defensive team in his rookie season. Wembanyama is a unicorn, obviously one of the best players in the game of basketball, and if he reaches his true potential and his full ceiling, you better watch out because he is going to dominate the NBA, and I applaud the San Antonio Spurs and Mitch Johnson for continuing to build the right pieces around Wemby. That's my list of the 10 players under the age of 25 that I would build a franchise with today. Let me know in the comments down below if I missed somebody or if you just don't agree with my list. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. And thank you guys once again for all of your continuous support. It doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you guys again, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one.